If you're tired of buying strawberry plants every year only to get a small harvest and start over, this will change that. Here's how to grow strawberries every year using runners so you never have to buy plants again. I started with a small bed of 25 plants in 2019, and in 2026 I'm growing about 150 from those same plants without spending more money. This works because strawberries produce runners, which are baby plants you can replant to grow strawberries for free. If you're new to growing strawberries, this is one of the simplest systems to start with. I'll show you how to get the free plants, grow them strong, and repeat this every single year. First, you need the right type of strawberry because if you pick the wrong one, this will not work. The type I grow here in upstate South Carolina near the mountains, growing zone 8A, is Sequoia, and it gives me a big harvest in spring and then it keeps making berries after that. But the real reason I grow it is this. It makes lots of runners. A runner is a long stem that grows out from the plant. It almost looks like the plant is reaching out. On that stem, new baby plants start to grow. These strawberry runners are how you propagate strawberries and get free plants every year. Those babies are your free plant. That's how I went from a small patch to about 100 plants without spending money. I've made the mistake before of picking the wrong type of strawberry plant. Some plants didn't make many runners, some didn't make any at all, and then when that happens, this whole system falls apart. So you want a type of strawberry that makes runners well, makes lots of runners, and that would be a June-bearing one that grows well in your climate. That's the key to learning how to grow strawberries from runners successfully. Now that you have the right type, here's the part that most people never learn. In the first year, your goal is not berries. First, you need strong plants. When you plant strawberries, they're going to try to grow flowers right away, but you need to remove every single flower all season long. And I know that feels wrong, but if the plant makes fruit too early, it gets weaker. So if you remember one thing from year one, remember this: no berries, just strong plants. You're also going to see runners start to grow, and at first, remove all of them, or as many as you can, because too many runners also take energy from the plant. But later in the season, like late summer, getting into fall, let the runners grow so that the main plants become parent plants. Let the babies root in small pots or in the ground next to your raised bed like I did. Those baby plants are going to become your next set of plants in the spring, like right here. Now comes the part everybody is waiting for. Now in year 2, this is where the parent plants are really strong. And this is where your work of removing all of the berries in year 1 pays off. You're going to get lots of strawberries during this time. But here's what makes this system work. While you're picking berries, your new baby plants are growing in their own separate space because you'll treat them just like the parent plants in year 1. Remove their flowers, let them grow strong, and then later in the season, let them make runners too. So now you have 2 things happening at once. One bed is feeding your family, and then the other bed is getting ready to take over the following year. And this next step is where everything comes together. By year 3, the grandparent plants get tired. They make fewer berries, and the berries are smaller, and that's completely normal. It just means that the system is working. So in spring, you replace the old plants with the new grandbaby ones. You can even do this with pots. You can guide a runner into a small pot of soil next to the main pot. Well, it's still attached to the runners. And once the baby plant grows new leaves and it's rooted nicely in the soil, you can cut the runner stem. And you have a free plant that you can move anywhere. So this is one of the easiest ways to grow strawberries from runners in small spaces or containers. And in my garden, I let the runners spread and root on their own. So basically they just kind of overflow out of the raised bed and then they root into the ground surrounding. And then I can dig up the baby plants and move them where I want. The baby plants are really easy to spot. They're smaller and you can often still see the old runner attached. So once the grandparent plants are replaced in year 3, the cycle starts again. Right now in my new garden, I just moved at the end of 2024 and I moved babies with me and restarted in my new space. I'm in the middle of this cycle. The plants I replanted last spring of 2025, they're in their 2nd year. So that means this is going to be their big harvest year. They've got tons and tons of berries on them and I can't wait. So their babies I just planted in a nearby raised bed. They're in their first year, so they're not producing yet. They're just getting strong. So next year, these older plants are going to start to slow down, and that's when I will replace them with their grandbabies. So now that you understand the system, let's make sure that your plants actually survive. There are 2 rules that matter most, and if you get these right, you're in great shape. Every strawberry plant has a crown. That's where the leaves meet the roots, and if you plant it too deep and bury the entire crown, it can rot. But if you plant it too high where the entire crown is exposed and you can see part of the roots above the soil, the crown can dry out and the plant can die. So the way to plant them is really easy. Just make sure that the leaves or the top of the crown stay above the soil, and where the crown meets the roots, make sure they are right under the soil surface. So take a few extra seconds to check each plant, because this is one of the most common mistakes and it's one of the easiest ones to fix. Rule 2 is water. Strawberries have shallow roots, and that means they dry out fast. In cooler months, the soil usually stays moist, but in spring and summer, you start to need to check it often. The soil should feel like a wrung out sponge, not dry, but not soaking wet. If your plants ever look weak, this is one of the first things to check. If your soil is heavy clay like mine, raised beds or containers work much better, or you can put nice soil in. Now you might be wondering about fertilizer and pests, so let's keep that simple too. You do not need a complicated plan. Strawberries don't need a lot of extra feeding. When you plant them, just mix in some compost. Each year after that, add a little more compost on top surrounding the plants. If you're growing in containers or raised beds, nutrients wash out faster, especially in containers or like grow bags. So you can feed your plants once a month with something simple like fish emulsion. Just follow the instructions on the bottle. That's it. Now let's talk about the part everybody worries about, and that's pests. I've tried a lot of different tricks to keep pests from getting my berries, and they didn't work. The main problems are birds, rodents, and slugs. For birds and rodents, use netting. Just make sure the holes are big enough for pollinators to still get in. For slugs, timing helps the most. Pick your berries just before they're super ripe and soft, because slugs like them very ripe. So basically, you're beating them to it. If slugs are still a problem, you can use a natural product like Sluggo, which is safe for organic gardening, it's safe for pets, and it's safe for people. I always keep some on hand. So I keep everything as simple as possible, no more wasted time. So that's the full system. 1 initial purchase of strawberry plants, 1 forever cycle, and strawberries forever. Start with a runner producing type, follow the 3-year plan, plant at the right depth, keep water steady, and the rest pretty much takes care of itself. If this helped you, tap the next video on your screen for more on simple small space growing, and grab my free 25 power crops guide in the link in the description below. It'll show you what else you can grow to save money on groceries.